I don't know how many times you guys have said to me, a number of you guys have said to me, Ivan, you have to train your upper back directly. That's why you're leaning over. That's a large part of your troubles. You need to train the upper back, put that thing on the map, and you will stay more upright. So as you guys know, in the last few days, I've started training my upper back. Was quite sore through the traps and lats, and the conflict between that and deadlifts, recovery periods, all that is trouble. Today I came in, I didn't want to hit it again. I just wanted to get blood through it. So I took an empty bar and I did a number of sets of 20 of bent over rows. That's it, nothing crazy. Try and like stretch it at the bottom and just get the scapulars moving, get the retraction, protraction going. Then I went to the squats. And I have to admit, squats felt better. Now, that's just an activation exercise, what I did. Just a little bit of a pump, just to feel that musculature behind me, and then go into a squat. It feels as though I'm more upright. It feels as though that I'm better squatting. Obviously, I'm quite fatigued from yesterday, the 180 for 5. I'm trying to do 180 for 5 every other day now. And I'm probably going to start trying for a 6th and a 7th rep rather than going to 185 or 190. I think I'm going to try and work my way. It's going to get tricky. I'll have to work out how to go about it, the frequency or whatever, but I'm going to try and get more reps on the 180. So that's kind of what I've been doing and what I'm going. So squats didn't feel that easy today, but it kind of felt good because of that upper back kind of activation exercise that I did for 5 minutes. That was the first part of the session. The second part of the session was bench press. I continued to knock out these sets of 20 on the barbell rows. I went to 40 kilos, still, far away from the weight I could be using. Just a little bit of pump. I get to the bench press, and what do you know? The bench press starts to feel really good. So much so that it kind of mimics like I was supersetting it with the hammer. Now, I've spoken at length about the hammer and how much that has improved my elbow pain, my positioning in the bench press, and it's been kind of responsible for the amount of volume I've been putting into the bench press in the last few months, which led me to, hit all these PRs, finishing with 152.5 on the bench. So the hammer, the rows, these two both feel really, really good in the bench press. Now, the hammer is not going to feel really good on the squat, but the rowing does. So I'm kind of half tempting. Somebody said this to me the other day. I'm thinking about how to fit rowing in with lots of deadlifting. And then one of you guys said to me, just put rowing with deadlifting. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's a brilliant idea. So, I hit my sumos or conventional, whatever I end up doing for the day. And then straight after, do some rowing and go hard with rowing. And then both deadlift and the rowing, so basically the entire back is taxed. Both lifts are now taken care of, and they have the same recovery curve on the graph as each other. So instead of trying to fit in 2 different stimulus points in a week or whatever period you're using, you can now fit the most amount of thumpage of the back in one. And so then the theory is that I don't have to rush for another session. I don't need to fit another session in the week thinking about, oh my God, I've still not recovered from the rowing. How am I going to deadlift? So that's one option I can do. So I can really go hard in rowing on the deadlift days, and then put another session in somewhere where I can just go, kind of like today, sets of 20, hell, even sets of 30, whatever, just like pump. The only thing that I have that's worrying me is after I'm done with deadlifting, whatever, if work up to 240 on the conventional, maybe even 250, whatever I end up with the heavy single, then I want to go down to some triples. And in recent times, I've gone down to 5s and 10s as well in the sumos, because the sumo is such a difficult positional movement for me. So that's a lot of work. And by then, my posterior chain is taxed, and predominantly my lower back is taxed. And I don't know if I'll be able to, after do all of that, to go do some rows and hold that position for any meaningful length of time. Because if you think about it, the row, it has you in the worst position in the deadlift. You're bent over, and you got to hold that isometrically while you're waving your damn arms around. Not easy. So I'm gonna try that. So tomorrow is my deadlift day. I mean, I did rows today, but very, very light. Like, I feel like I didn't really do much. But tomorrow I'm going to come in and do the deadlifts and then try to do some rows. And I'm going to try to go heavy, maybe sets of 10 or something. I don't think sets of 5 rows make sense to me at this point, because where do you draw the line? Like, you can start using a lot of body English that's going to freaking end up looking like a half deadlift anyway. So, if you're deadlifting and then rowing, probably do deadlifting as hard as you can, and then rowing sets of 10 and sets of 15, something like that, rather strict, because you're already taxed with, the deadlift. But so let's say on the secondary rowing day where you don't have deadlifting, then you can go heavy on the deadlift, even singles on the rows rather, even singles, and use kind of like the Kayla Woolham rows where you freaking, using all sorts of momentum, whatever the hell you want to do. Like in that scenario, if you're using that much body English, to me, in my mind, that's a replacement for the deadlift. You can't be deadlifting and then trying to heave that thing up in a row like that as well. So it's all about the application. Like, you can't just write deadlift and row on paper and get much from that. You need to understand the intensity, the intent, what you're doing. So I'm going to try and make them fit somehow, because I'm finding a lot of use for that type of movement, but I just have to work out how to fit it all together. All right, guys, I will catch you next time. Peace out.